What is up, guys? My name is Sid Regan, and we are back on F1 24 Driver Career. This is Season 1, Episode 5 for the Italian Grand Prix at Imola. Coming up. So entering the Italian Grand Prix, coming off a really good outing in Miami where we were able to grab a 5th place finish. We get a couple of successful upgrades to start the week, which is very encouraging. Let's get our goals set up here. We'll go with Deborah, our wind tunnel engineer, first. And I definitely think we can overtake 5 drivers out on the track. And then we'll head over to Karen, our material engineer, and stress test tires over 30%. We should definitely be able to do that with even a medium length stint. And now Paolo, our quality assurance tester. Spending 45 seconds in 4th gear is definitely doable. And our contract performance is going very well, especially after our 5th place in Miami. Looking at the standings, Verstappen leads the drivers by 38 over Perez, and we are still in 6th place in the constructors. As we gather up some of our weekly resource points.
Okay, all the new parts have been fabricated and we're going to have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
We'll look at the upgrades, but I don't think there's much we can afford with 330 resource points. Yeah, unfortunately, there's just not much we can do. We're gonna have to wait till after the practice session when we earn some more to see if we can afford anything. Let's head to the race weekend.
Welcome along, everybody, to Imola, just down the road from Ferrari HQ, and they know a thing or two about pace, and pace today is king. It's qualifying day, and it's great to have you with us.
Okay guys, everyone be aware, the car's ready to go.
Heading into our final run of Q1. Currently sitting P7, we're using the same set of tires we used to set our first lap on. As we head into Tamburello, taking a little bit of a risk trying to save a set of tires in Q1. Marginally better on the exit, about a 10th up heading into Villeneuve. We pick up a little bit of time through Villeneuve and head into Tosa. Still hovering around a 10th up or so. Marginally better. We lose a little bit of time through Piratella as we head down towards Aqua Minerale. Much better through there, nearly 3/10 up. That's one of the hardest corners in the game for me, actually. Through the Variante Alto, we push the limits there. Not sure how that didn't get disallowed, but it'll let us have it.
We've dropped to P11.
Little bit of a lockup into Ravazza. That's going to cost us a lot of time. We end up losing a lot of time through Ravazza. We're only going to end up half a 10th up. Good enough for 10th at the end of the session. That'll work. Good enough to get us into Q2. Norris and Verstappen at the front of the field, so much like real life. Let's see what we can do in Q2.
Standing by.
Heading out for our final run of Q2. Currently sitting 9th, and we are using a new set of tires this time on our final run as we are right on the cusp of making it into Q3. We're exiting here. Heading down towards Tamburello. A little bit better exit, marginally up. And this is for pride and a chance of points now as we've already beaten our rivals, our teammate and our other rival, Logan Sargent. Still even as we go through Villeneuve. Now into Tosa. We gain a lot of time through the left-hander. As Alonso sets the top time of the session. And now Leclerc tops the session. 2/10 up into Aqua Minerale. But we run wide on the exit, nearing the sausage curbs. And now we're hemorrhaging time as we head towards the Variante Alta. And the pressure's on now as we've been dropped down to 11th. Much cleaner through the Variante Alta this time. As we head down towards Ravazza, we cannot afford to lock up and go deep again. That's where we lost all the time in Q1. Much better through the first corner of Ravazza. Get the exit down. We got a solid exit. Now we're 2.5 tenths up.
2 minutes remaining.
Is it good enough? 7th. We make it into Q3. And Leclerc tops Q2. So that'll make the Tifosi happy. Alonso outperforming that Aston Martin again, up in 2nd. And his teammate out in 11th. Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, and Ricciardo all out in Q2.
When you're ready, let's go.
We're going to do a banker run on a used set of tires, see if we can get a good marker in. That way we have something good to compare ourselves against with our run on new tires at the end. Down into Tamburello. We run wide, get on the grass, and perform a very nice pirouette, but that was not ideal, and we were lucky we didn't damage the car. And we won't have a delta to compare our lap to, so I'm not sure how much we'll need to improve or where we're standing. Final run at Q3, brand new tires. We need to do a much better job into Tamburello this time. Took a little bit too much curb on the entry, but we're not doing donuts, so that's obviously an improvement. And we lock up and go wide and get in the gravel. And that's
With
it.
Qualifying complete,
That's all we can do.
Now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Verstappen and Norris on the front row. And I am really frustrated I couldn't get a lap in. That's just embarrassing. So we get a nice boost to our rating because we made Q3, but we also outqualified both of our rivals. So that's good. There are a lot of positives to be taken from the session, but mistakes like that cannot be made in the race. Hopefully we got them all out in qualifying. We checked the condition of our components. Our ICE is a little bit worn, but it should be fine for this race. We're gonna have to change it out for the next one, as it's nearing 50% wear. As we look at the development chart, Aston Martin brought a big upgrade, bringing them to the 5th best team. McLaren, Mercedes also brought upgrades, and V-Car brought a big upgrade. So that's a team we're gonna have to watch out for. As I price upgrades myself now, that nose structure, major weight reductions on my radar. Can't afford it yet, we'd have to wait. The only other thing that interests me is the rear downforce upgrade, which would be really nice to have in time for Canada, as we are dead last in aerodynamic performance. We're also low in chassis, but aero, I think it's worth the risk of trying to rush it. Let's head to the grid.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track, 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Perez, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Haas, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Albon, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Joe, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. which of these talented drivers will come out on top today.
Right, let's see if we can push for another points finish in this race. Good luck.
If we can stay in the DRS of the car in front, we should be able to stay in the points today, as it's not an easy circuit to overtake on. I think we're going to start on the mediums. I don't want to lose positions off the start. In fact, if we could make up 1 or 2 positions off the start, I think we could successfully defend as long as we stay in the DRS. Looks like Piastri in front of us is on the hards, but the majority of the cars around us are on the mediums. And we're right next to Piastri on the grid again. A little disappointed he wasn't our rival, because we've battled with him so hard.
Power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Over the last few races, and we're gonna battle him again in this one. And the 5 red lights. The Italian Grand Prix is underway. We get a lot of wheel spin off the start, but we get a good launch in the second phase and pull even with Piastri heading into Tamburello. Trying to be careful, we don't want to pick up damage on the first lap. And we do manage to get ahead of Piastri, but we have a snap of oversteer. And Piastri's gonna pull even with us again. Through Villeneuve, side by side. And we managed to get ahead. So lap 2, Verstappen leads Alonso and Norris into the first chicane. But he locks up and goes off into the gravel. And that promotes Alonso to first. And Verstappen's gonna drop from first all the way to the back of the field, as we are under yellow.
Green flag.
But now we've got the green flag, so no safety car yet, and we've managed to move all the way up to 8th now, with the mistake by Verstappen and getting through Piastri, because we got a second yellow flag, and it looks like it's for Yuki Tsunoda, also at the start of lap 2, and he is pulling off to the side with an engine failure. This has been a nutty start to this race. Not a good start for the Red Bull family.
Some information on Tsunoda for you. Okay, they're out of this race.
So that's disappointing for the V-Carb team, as they brought big upgrades to Imola and have an engine failure on lap 2. So we're trying to climb back into the DRS of Russell. And we have a big slide in Aqua Minerale. That's not going to help. Lap 3 onto 4, and we fell out of the DRS of Russell. Piastri does have DRS now down the main straight. Unfortunately, with our higher wings, staying in this race requires us to stay in the DRS. Piastri's through, up into 8th. As on lap 6, we're still down in 9th. We've been riding Piastri's DRS. He hasn't dragged us up to the back of Russell as quickly as I hoped he would, but he has helped us stay ahead of Stroll.
Okay, mate, Piastri's ahead of you. We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
Mark, we talked about this before the race. We have to stay in somebody's DRS. Passing Piastri does us no good until we're on the back of Russell. Alonso leads Norris, Perez, and Hamilton through the Variante Alta. Alonso's done a very good job of keeping that McLaren behind him. Perez and the Red Bull in 3rd as well, heading down towards Ravazza. And Alonso locks up and he's off into the gravel. What is it with the leaders of this race? Making huge mistakes as we come down the hill towards Ravazza. There's the yellow flag out for Alonso still. He's off the track still, and he's gonna have to wait till the end of the line to rejoin. We have a snap out of the second Ravazza, which is gonna keep us from attacking Piastri this lap. Alonso's gonna drop well out of the points here, all the way to the back of the field, but that'll promote us up to 8th. And that's gonna be a huge theme on the day here at Imola. Free positions because of mistakes. On to lap 8 now, and we are all over the back of Piastri. This is the final lap we have to achieve the objective, and we're gonna dive up the inside of Tamburello.
Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work.
So I do follow team orders and follow the objective. Moving up into 7th, and Stroll's gonna try to come through as well. The Aston Martin and McLaren are side by side heading into Villeneuve, and they're still side by side through the high-speed chicane. Piastri's trying to hold on to 8th, But Stroll's gonna come through in Tosa, and Ocon in that Alpine in 10th is just waiting for a mistake to pounce on to move forward. And on lap 9, Stroll, showing that Aston Martin has genuine pace, is all over the back of us in the DRS zone. But he leaves the door open to Piastri, who dives through on the outside, regaining 8th. But this is the fighting that has dropped us even further behind Russell that I was hoping to avoid. And on lap 11, Perez in the Red Bull is challenging Norris for the lead of the race. Norris goes defensive. Perez goes all the way around the outside into Tamburello, and the second Red Bull driver is the new race leader. And on lap 11, we're chasing down Piastri with DRS, but we're right back in the position we were a couple laps ago, 7th, 8th, and 9th with myself and Stroll. But now, we're almost 5.3 seconds back of Russell. But Stroll wants to get aggressive into Villeneuve chicane, and he's making contact with my rear left. He nearly spins me, and now we're both off into the gravel, and Ocon goes through. I was trying to give him room.
Green flag.
Let's take a look at that from the replay and see what happened. We were side by side into Villeneuve, but he makes contact with me right there, and you can see my nose twitch right when he touches the rear left. And we're able to keep going. We lose a position, but it looks like Stroll might be beached in the gravel. So we're down to 9th now behind Ocon.
Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
And Stroll was beached in the gravel, and he is now out of this race. So I feel bad, but could I have left him more room? I don't know. As we come into the pits under the safety car, so will all the teams take advantage of this safety car to pit? A lot of double stacks
Nico's
going on,
into the pits. Nico in the pits.
including Hulkenberg coming in behind us. As we get a good turn in.
Okay, off we go, back into the race. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
And we do get a good pit stop. Where are we going to filter out? Up in 7th, actually, which is really good. And I don't think either McLaren decided to pit under that safety car. So will that come to haunt them later?
Safety car in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
As we get ready for the restart on lap 14, when will Norris decide to go? As we currently have a McLaren 1-2, but neither car has made their pit stop yet. And we were able to overtake Ocon in the pit stops as they had a slow pit stop. And we are away, back into action on lap 14. And Leclerc is harvesting energy.
Clear. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.3 seconds.
As we're dumping battery, we got a good run on Leclerc here, but he's weaving back and forth in the braking zone, and we make a little bit of contact with the rear Leclerc as he cut across very aggressively and put us offline through Tamburello. And on lap 16, Sainz is attacking the McLarens on fresher tires. McLarens are side by side. Piastri gets through up into the lead, and Sainz gets through on Norris up into 2nd. So Piastri's defense on Sainz was leaving Norris out to dry. And on lap 16 for us, we have managed to stay in the lead DRS train. We got Russell behind us putting pressure on us. But we've been able to stay close to the Ferrari of Leclerc, and it's been a lot easier to be consistent on the hard tire over these first several laps than it was on the mediums. I feel like I have much better pace. As Russell tries to get aggressive through the Variante Alta, he is all over the back of us. And our teammate has been able to improve up to 13th. After the safety car and his pit stop, he could be in line for points for the first time. Never mind. He locks up and goes straight on at Ravazza. As Sainz is putting the pressure on Piastri for the lead of the race. Piastri goes defensive, but without the DRS, he's going to be a sitting duck. And Sainz is through up into the lead, and a Ferrari leads the Italian Grand Prix, and the Italian fans will be going insane. On lap 17 down the main straight, Ocon is pressurizing us in the DRS train. But Ocon locks up and goes straight on into the gravel at Tamburello. That's another AI mistake. And on lap 19, we are still in the DRS of Leclerc, and we've quietly made our way up into 6th. as another car locks up and goes straight on. Who was that this time? Now we've quietly moved our way up into fifth.
Clear.
As Piastri on Old Hard is under pressure from Hamilton in third, and Piastri locks up and goes straight on into the gravel. What the hell is going on with the AI today? As Piastri and the McLaren just gift-wrapped fifth place for us. We are still within the DRS of Leclerc, but Russell is all over the back of us, trying to push us into a mistake as we try to harvest enough battery power to stay ahead of him on the DRS straight. Even with DRS, the Mercedes is a much faster car than us. And on lap 20, Hamilton had dropped out of the DRS of Sainz, and Perez is going to slide through up into second, and he'll try his hand at chasing down the Ferrari. Going to the gravel, and that allows Russell to go through, dropping us down to sixth, so not a great mistake, but we are still in a very good position to score points, as long as we can hang on to the back of Russell. Lap 22, and the Mercedes of Hamilton is trying to come back at Perez, but it's Hamilton who comes under attack from Leclerc. And the Ferrari is through up into third, and we have a double Ferrari podium in Imola. On lap 23, we're trying to chase down Russell. We're dumping the battery, and it looks like Russell is harvesting towards the end of the straight. We're gonna try to go up the inside. Russell cuts across. A little bit of contact, but we are able to get through.
Brilliant, nice move. Keep
Back
going.
up into fifth, but Russell's gonna come back at us. But we're able to stay ahead through the Villeneuve chicane.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 1.7 seconds.
And if we want to hold this position, we're going to have to get in the DRS of Hamilton. But it's not going to matter, as Russell's going to come back at us into the Variante Alta and squeezes back through. A very aggressive move by Russell, and he's able to retake fifth. Clean racing on both sides. On lap 25, Perez is trying to spoil the party for the Italian fans as he tries to go around the outside of Sainz, and Perez is through and the Red Bull up into the lead. And just behind the battle for the lead, we're on the attack against Russell, and we're able to use the DRS to get back through, up into fifth, and this time we're able to build a little bit of a gap to the Mercedes as we go through the first chicane. And there's another yellow flag behind. On lap 26, Verstappen's been able to work his way back into the points into 8th, as Alonso is trying to take 10th from Logan Sargent, working his way back into the points as well. And Alonso is able to nick 10th from Sargent, making up for earlier mistakes. On lap 27, we're watching Hamilton and the Mercedes attack Leclerc for the final podium position. They go side by side into Tamburello, and they slow each other up significantly, and we nearly run into the back of Leclerc. And Hamilton is able to get through, up onto the podium, as now Russell's going to try to attack us through the Villeneuve chicane.
Okay, mate, our fuel usage rate is higher than we need it to be, so please let's try and back off a little bit and make it last.
We are 6/10 away from a podium right now in a Haas. I am not backing down. As on lap 28, the battle for the podium is reignited. Hamilton trying to retake third from Leclerc, as they're going to go side by side into the slow speed chicane. And the battle from third all the way down to 7th is well within a second. And this is going to get interesting as we head down towards Ravazza, as Leclerc and Hamilton are side by side, and myself and Russell are side by side. We're able to squeeze past Russell and Ravazza as we're harvesting energy for the straight. And on the exit of Ravazza, we're going to end up next to Leclerc, tucked in right behind Hamilton. And we're going to dump the battery with DRS and go all the way around both drivers. As we head down into Tamburello, we find ourselves up into third, and Verstappen's trying to take 6th from Hamilton as they go side by side through Tamburello. And they're still side by side as they head towards the Villeneuve chicane, as Leclerc is sniffing around for an attack on us into Villeneuve, but decides to hang back as we head towards Tosa now. And Verstappen has cleanly gone past Hamilton now up into 6th, as the order has been completely upended at the front. And our fuel objective is also marginal. I didn't even mention it with all the drama going on, but we are questionable on fuel. I think we'll be all right, but it's just one more thing to worry about as we fight for our first podium, as we've been able to break the DRS to Leclerc, as he has some sort of mechanical issue. Everything is breaking our way this race, as on lap 30, Russell's trying to take 4th from Leclerc, as Leclerc is starting to fade with that issue. As Russell in the Mercedes gets through into 4th, Verstappen's also attacking Leclerc, side by side through Villeneuve. And Verstappen's able to move up into 5th, dropping Leclerc all the way down to 6th, as we're doing everything we can now to keep Russell out of the DRS for 2 more laps. As we head through the Variante Alta, we have a nearly 2-second lead over the Mercedes, and this chance at a podium is starting to feel real now. We just have to keep it clean. On to the penultimate lap, and Perez and the Red Bulls attacking Sainz for the lead, and Perez with the DRS gets through easily into the lead. But Perez locks up and goes into the gravel, handing Sainz the lead back, and handing us 2nd place. What is happening to these drivers today? As we go through Tamburello, we see Perez off in the gravel. We find ourselves up in 2nd place, as Verstappen finds himself up on the podium now after falling back to the back of the field at the start.
Oh, mate, great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race. Final lap, final lap. Push, push.
As we start our final lap, we met our fuel goal, so we are fine on fuel. So if we can keep this clean through the final lap, the nerves were absolutely taking over right now, as we're in line for a podium in only our 5th ever race in Formula One. As we watch Sainz come through Rivata, the Ferrari wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and we come through Rivata onto the main straight. What the hell have we just done?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well
And we
done.
start our celebration by slamming into the back of Sainz, as Verstappen comes through to finish out the podium in a great recovery drive. Wow, what the hell just happened? And driver of the day, well deserved.
And that's it then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off here.
To come here and take victory as a team today on home soil was so important. You can see how much it means to them. The drivers there doing their part, the team's strategy was perfect as well, and the fans really embraced that. What a great atmosphere we had here today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
As we climb onto the podium for the first time in our F1 career, this is a huge moment for us and a huge moment for the team. And we're going to have a massive celebration. As we pop the cork on our 2nd place. And I don't even care that it was drivers ahead of us making mistakes that allowed us to get that. We're on the freaking podium. Who cares? As we see the final results for the race, Russell in 4th, Hamilton in 5th, Alonso recovered to 6th, a good recovery for him. Gasly, Ricciardo, and Albon also were able to get points. So a big day for those teams as well. As Verstappen now leads by 47 over Fernando Alonso, as we nearly doubled our points with 18 today. As we take a look at the constructors, we find ourselves 35 points ahead of Alpine now. We've taken a stranglehold on 6th and only 20 behind McLaren. We outperformed Sargent today in the rivalry. He had a pretty good race too, up until the end when he dropped out of the points. And our rating gets a huge bump with a podium finish. And we've reached our 70 rating goal. And we're only 8 points behind Hulkenberg now in the recognition. Very much making the team ours. As we only missed one of our specialist goals, the material fabrication planner. Although I'm confused, Karen, we were well above 30% tire wear on the hards at the end of the race. So I'm not sure why we didn't pass that or get enough points. Karen being Karen. So we head back to our home now, and we have a secret meeting update coming our way.
It seems as if you have a new rival. This is the perfect opportunity to show the world why you belong in this sport, and to show me why you belong amongst my very exclusive clientele. That's a joke. I love working with you.
And so we're going to head to our second meeting with Alpine. And we get to see their development versus our development on the season so far. So they have a couple more upgrades and a slightly better success rate, but very, very similar to ours. And I'm already very much at home in this team, so I'm going to decline any more talks with Alpine.
Hey, just a quick one for me.
And see if something better comes along.
Behind that meeting, gold star, brownie points, etc., etc. I guess we'll see if anything else more exciting comes calling. But let's focus on our current seat for now.
Anyway, guys, that's all I got for this week. I'll see you next week at Canada. Goodbye.